Welcome. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. I know, this is an extremely unsettling time in our world right now, but if it's of any worth, I want you to think of this as an extended sick day. I know, if you work from home, it's not much consolation, but hey, haven't you always felt of an extended sick day with pay, depending on who your boss is and the company you work for? Ask yourself, what do people do on sick days, other than roam around the house or lie on the couch like a mindless zombie scoffing down chicken noodle soup and cold medicine? We usually watch daytime television. A little Price is Right, a little Judge Judy, maybe a soap opera or two here and there, The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful. You see where I'm going with this? And of course, the always gratuitous, in my opinion, daytime talk show. For millions of Americans, for 25 years, they've logged their sick days watching Oprah. I can't speak for her directly, but I know that she's particularly grateful for that. For the joy, the laughs, the lessons, the adventure of a lifetime, thank you! I'm no Oprah buff, but you're welcome, oh. This is the June 2011 issue of the Oprah magazine celebrating 25 years of her eponymous talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show. Purchased for 99 cents out of a retail price of $4.50. For that kind of price, $4.50, it should have been $4 because 4 o'clock was always the common time when a talk show aired throughout the country. But for $4.50, I could have bought this retail and still be satisfied with my decision. But hey, I did it! I purchased it second hand, which is always the goal out here, hence the name, Thrift Store Rundown. For those who are Oprah buffs and do not own this issue of Oprah magazine or the commemorative 25th anniversary issue, celebrating 25 years of a talk show, I'm going to present to you several reasons why you should have this in your library. And under the circumstances, I can't think of a more better time to review this. It's still Women's History Month, whether we're sick or not. This is a black and white promo for the 3-day Oprah Show Finale Extravaganza. 2 days at the United Center and her final curtain call, her final bow at her home base, Harpo Studios in Chicago. Wednesday, May 25th. Oprah in the spotlight on her talk show one last time. I love this feature. In the staff listing for the Oprah magazine, several staffers who are highlighted in a light burgundy color, light purplish color maybe. It's hard to tell, but the arrows make it easier. Several staffers describe their favorite episodes of the Oprah show. From the Twilight Saga episode, I hate Twilight, and that's from Brooke Kosofsky-Glassberg, all the way to the book club episodes, to special charity episodes like Christmas in South Africa, Oprah and Gail's road trip, of course Tom Cruise professing his love for Katie Holmes by jumping on the couch. That, of course, is an infamous moment in American talk show history. A talk show summit, if you will. The meeting of the minds, Donahue, Sally, Jesse, Raphael, Montel, Ricky, and Gerardo, with Oprah. And of course, her Australian adventure, which we will get to in great detail a little later on. Of course, it doesn't stop there. More staffers describe their favorite Oprah episodes, like Oprah with Maddie Stepanek. Also, the show where they closed down Michigan Avenue with a flash mob to celebrate the 25th anniversary. The flash mob was actually to I Got a Feeling. One of the favorite themed shows with the Hurricane Katrina heroes, and several more. Again, the names are highlighted in a light purple, burgundy-ish color, but you can't tell with this video, the arrows make it easier. So, that was really cool. Here in the contributor section, you get to learn more about Oprah's Chief of Staff, Libby Moore, who was the photographer for Oprah's Australian adventure, a special feature in this magazine which we'll get to later. Here, the Chief of Staff talks about weaving together the pieces of her boss's busy life and how she began working for Oprah in the first place. She originally wanted to be a stand-up writer, but that fell flat. Her new career, which I think might be her old career now, but who's keeping track? Her career now as Oprah's Chief of Staff I can tell you right now, generates a far better revenue than being a stand-up writer. This is Laura Letty's aha moment. The classic aha moment. Always a favorite among Oprah fans. And this is Laura's. The Heart Matters. For years, the star of the hit Showtime comedy The Big C was swept up by a series of dazzling but disappointing dates until she realized what really makes the man. The one trait that drives her to a successful relationship is compassion. She ditches on a previous boyfriend that lacked any compassion whatsoever. When they were out hiking the Appalachian Trail, they came across a mother whose child had fallen and scraped his knee. They were both scared and panicking, practically in tears. As they approached them, Laura's date kept saying, "They're fine, they're fine." He wouldn't stop to help them. No compassion whatsoever. Her heart immediately sank, and she thought to herself, she didn't want to kiss this man anymore, and I can't blame you. No compassion? Especially for a kid who hurt himself? No chance! Kick him to the curb! Her current husband? Plenty of compassion, plenty of empathy. He must have logged several hours watching Oprah. If not, someone must have made him do it. Laura Letty, I bring her up for good reason. She was the host of PBS's Masterpiece Classic, which, by the way, should have earned her an Emmy nomination. I love Masterpiece Classic on PBS because of Laura's hosting. I particularly love the Wuthering Heights adaptation on Masterpiece Classic, which I reviewed from Lambert, Castle, and Patterson. You want to check that out by clicking the link in the description below. This is the O-List All-Time Favorite Things edition. The producers behind the Oprah Show's most famous annual episode, Oprah's Favorite Things, the subject of a Saturday Night Live spoof, picked their favorite things ever. Like this. Soak it in. Relax evening and breathe tranquil bubble bath. Suggested by Ann Gelfer, co-producer. Each producer lists their favorite thing in here and why they chose it. The Laptop of Luxury, the Valor C-Series laptop from Dana Greenwolf's associate producer. That is a sexy looking laptop. How about this? Class Polo Shea Butter Bath Soaps, $18 each, from senior supervisor producer Jill Barancic. How about Jenna Kostelnik, senior producer? If I'm butchering any one of your names, sorry. It's just a bad habit. This is the Philip Stein 25th Anniversary Limited Edition Oprah Watch. $730. And $2,340 for the diamond version? How dare you not bring Hollywood home on a budget, Oprah Show producers, but hey, this is the Oprah Show. I'm gonna focus on the food gifts now. Like this, the Edge Brownie Pan from Baker's Edge, and double chocolate brownie mix from Ghirardelli from Ali Pohl, assistant to supervising producer. You've been seeing this Edge Brownie Pan a lot lately, because each edge offers a particularly nice textured chocolate brownie edge. Other food-related gifts? How about this? Ooh La La. Jill Barancic, I don't know how to pronounce some of your names. I shouldn't be working for the Oprah Show. Sorry. Anyway, she chose croissants from Williams-Sonoma, 15 croissants for $40. The Breville Panini Press for $120 from WilliamsSonoma.com from Brian Piotowicz, co-producer. And look at these pots and pans. That is the Oprah 10-piece cookware set, suggested by executive producer Sari Salata for $599, exclusive from Le Creuset for Oprah. And that has to be my favorite of all the producers' picks. When you get your very first Le Creuset pot, it feels like you made it to the big leagues. I use mine to make my mother's famous chili. Just seeing it on my stove reminds me that becoming a great chef is still possible. Some of you might ask, why is Oprah not the executive producer of her own talk show? I guess she didn't really want to have complete, total control that would have some of you dub her a control freak. I apologize for the horns. Yeah, honk if you like Oprah, honk if you don't like Oprah. Either way, it's disruptive. But we will soldier on. Nothing, not even the coronavirus or disruptive, annoying neighbors in our community will stop the thrift store rundown or hinder its reviews, especially if we're marking Women's History Month. We continue with a promo for the official collector's edition, Oprah's Farewell Celebration. That is a special commemorative issue of the Oprah magazine. Be among the first to own this full-color commemorative edition detailing the remarkable inside story of one of America's most inspiring daytime shows. Taking you inside 25 extraordinary years. We have something very similar to this on my Amazon wish list, and if and when I can get a gift card, I will be sure to buy it and review it. In the meantime, I am quite satisfied with the Oprah Winfrey Show, Reflections on an American Legacy from author Deborah Davis. I reviewed that, and of course I will link that in the description below. I will also link it at the end card, where you see the credits in this video, so stay tuned to the very end. Now for the main event. 25 years. Take a former roller skating rink in Chicago's West Loop. Add 28,000 fascinating people willing to share their remarkable stories. Star in a superhero production team, a phenomenally devoted viewership that's of utter importance, and one former news anchor from Baltimore with a knack for conversation, whose original name was Oprah. The result? A television institution. Join us this month as we journey through all the seasons of the Oprah Winfrey Show, with a little help from Oprah herself, who talks with her closest friend, Gayle King, about loving and leaving the program that made her a household name. But first, come along as we revisit 25 of the show's unforgettable highlights, beginning with the episode that started it on. Before we get to that, I should show you the inside cover. That is a still from our first episode, September 8th, 1986. The beginning of a 25-year television institution. Those 25 moments are expanded upon in photographic detail with brief summaries in this special fold-out. A look back at 25 Oprah Show moments we'll never forget. They're all numbered, so you know which is which. Like here, this is the ultimate favorite theme show. That would be number 25 in 2010. A two-part extravaganza for the audience, receiving gifts ranging from a Josh Groban CD to a 7-day Royal Caribbean cruise to Sony televisions, 3D Sony televisions, and the totally redesigned 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. And how about this? That would be her grand Pontiac G6 giveaway as part of her Wildest Dreams season, season 19. The introduction of Dr. Phil, and that would be moment number 13. The Pontiac G6 giveaway would be moment number 19. And how about this? Right over here. The Wagon of Fat, which Oprah wheeled out to illustrate how much fat she lost. That would be moment number 3. 67 pounds of fat in 1988. And how about Susan Lucci, aka All My Children's Erica Kane, appearing with her 8 TV husbands. That is moment number 6. Where can we find that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. I don't know about you, what you're thinking, but I'm thinking that if you alter the design a little bit, this will be a really cool game of Oprah Show Bingo. Anyone thought of that? Anyway, those are just a few that I can remember, and I'm pretty sure you can look them up on YouTube. What follows is one incredible journey. They stood by each other through thick and thin, kids and cocker spaniels, haircuts and headlines. They've seen the world change and they've seen themselves change. And today, Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King of CBS This Morning are sitting down to talk about what, for Oprah, is the biggest change in 25 years. The end. After more than 4,500 episodes of The Oprah Show, To understand how that will feel, you have to understand how it all began. And this is a one-on-one conversation with Oprah and Gayle, describing how it began, the success that followed, the disaster according to Change Your Life TV, making Oprah look like a zealot in the eyes of critics, and then taking a low-key approach, still with the format of inspiring stories to stir viewers into action to change their communities and, more importantly, themselves for the better. The conversation continues. But in the meantime, we have this photographic spread from Oprah's little Australian vacation. Again, photographer for this is Oprah's Chief of Staff, Libby Moore. How do you kick off the final season of an epic show? By unveiling plans for an epic adventure featuring 8 days in Australia, 302 ultimate viewers, that 25th season kickoff show, forever embroidered in the fabric of American pop culture. 198 hurried Harpo staffers, 249 Sydney schoolboys, 43 camera crews, 30 sailboats, 6,000 AUSSIE audience members, 3 helicopters, 2 international rock stars, and 1 unexpectedly frisky koala. Couldn't make the trip? No worries. This behind-the-scenes scrapbook is for you. Have a look at this scrapbook. Each photo comes with a caption which summarizes the event that took place in that photo. Of course, the big reveal right here. Joanne Lachlan, senior supervising producer, captions this photo the big reveal and summarizes what happened in this photo. Of course, you might have seen it because it's all over YouTube. Oprah believes it's always better to share things, so for the season premiere we filled the audience with ultimate viewers who had written to us with beautiful personal stories about the cadets in the show. Seeing their reaction when we told them they were going with Oprah Winfrey to Australia, well, let's just say it really was amazing. You can check that clip out in Oprah's life class. And of course, miraculously, there is still the full 25th anniversary season kickoff show on YouTube, divided into parts just for safety's sake. Shrimps on the Barbie with Chef Curtis Stone, married to the smoke show Lindsay Price, Janet Sosler Sanders from Line 210. In the Mood for Love, one unexpectedly frisky koala, something you don't see every day on National Geographic. Among other sensational pictures like this one, the warm welcome from the Aussies to Oprah and her crew. The Sydney Harbour Bridge lit up with a giant red O and an awesome fireworks display. And of course again, the woman responsible for these photographs, Libby Moore. Many of the snapshots on these pages were taken by Libby Moore, Oprah's Chief of Staff for the past 10 years. Libby describes her job as air traffic controller at Oprah International Airport. I make sure all the planes take off and land, and if there's a fire in Terminal 3, I put it out. No fires to be seen here, other than the fireworks and the giant red O at the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and of course the Sydney Opera House. Want more pictures? Well, there you go. Many producers chimed in with what happened in these photographs, like Andrea Wissam, who is the senior supervising producer, and Tara Montgomery, supervising producer. A dream come true. Look at this. Polly Dunning, a teacher at a school for disadvantaged boys, had written us a heartfelt letter saying Jay-Z, really, was a role model for her students. As luck would have it, he was in Australia opening for U2, so we asked him to surprise her kids. They erupted in joy when he walked into the schoolyard, and Polly had one of the best reactions I've ever seen in my 16 years working on the show. Of course, there was the dreaded near crisis with Hugh Jackman zip-lining onto the Sydney Opera House stage for his appearance on the Oprah show. Andrea Wissam chimes in on that. Walking out, U2 in Australia. Of course. Oprah was down in the bleachers and with her viewers, dancing and having a great time. I'm sure security hated it but that's who she is. Forget about approaching Beyonce for a selfie. You try with all your might under God's grace to get a selfie with Oprah. You, my friend, have made it big time. The waiting game. Oprah climbed the Sydney Harbour Bridge with a 302 American viewers so a helicopter could take a sweeping photo of television. Except the helicopter nearly ran out of gas trying to get a perfect shot, meaning everyone had to wait for a half hour while it went and refueled. It was one of those moments where you have a choice. Either you're annoyed or you embrace it. It took Oprah a minute, but she chose the latter. That's something I'll never forget. And I know it's something that neither of these audience members will ever in their lifetimes forget. Because in some way, through some miracle, which really was a technical malfunction that turned into a miracle, they got a photo with Oprah. That's the ultimate Aussie adventure. Libby Moore, excellent job on the photographs. Now we take a look at Oprah's fashion on the show through the years. The good, the bad, and the sofa blanket shirt. For the past 6 years, Kelly Hellyman has dressed Oprah for a show, and Adam Glassman, Oprah's creative director for the magazine, styles her for O. We asked the two of them to revisit the highs and the lows of a wardrobe that's had plenty of both. In a conversational format, they dish on the highs first, and then the middle ground, the wardrobe that didn't really stand out and wasn't really spectacular, but was good enough to make it to air. And then, of course, the horrible misses. And, of course, the perfect fit. The serious outfit right here for the announcement of her concluding her talk show after 25 extraordinary years. That was bought off the rack at Saks, not with the intention of using it for such an iconic moment. But, as Kelly says, it was the right dress for the right time. And it's not just about wardrobe, it's also about hair. In the 23 years since he left his Chicago salon to become Oprah's full-time hairstylist, Andre Walker has created hundreds of looks for her on the Oprah show. His picks for the very best and the very worst. Well, one pick for the best. That is her hairdo. Her 50th birthday show, January 29, 2004. And her worst. Her interview with Elizabeth Taylor. Big hair was all the rage back in the 80s. Elizabeth Taylor was no different. Why would Oprah be any different? Except, well, the bob is definitely better. This is the Oprah show in stats. Have a look at this. The Oprah show by the numbers. Adding it up. Most sketched at one time, 176 among plenty of other numerical stats. The Welcome Home to USA's Olympic Stars episode, September 2008. Cindy Mori, Booking and Talent Relations Director, says this. The Olympic medalist episode was one of the most challenging for us to put together. My team booked all 176 athletes in less than a week. Each of us was in charge of a different group. Your women's volleyball, your BMXers. When Oprah came out and the confetti started falling, I cried like a baby. It was such a huge feat. Yes, even hardened staffers of the Oprah show have emotions. If they didn't have any emotions, how could they work for Oprah? Because the show aired just after school, it found a special following among teachers and sneaky students. What you see right now are a few of their stories. The hour at which is most commonly broadcast in the US, as I mentioned before, 4 p.m. The number of audience members per show, the amount that can fit into the Hartwell studios, between 315 and 365. Sally Lou Luffman, the senior audience producer, says this. The trick was getting the right audience for a given topic. Back in the day, we put voiceovers at the end of soap operas. If you're cheating on your husband, call this number. That's more like a Maury soap opera, but Oprah's was like that back in the early days. Then we'd spend all afternoon answering the phones. Oprah, please hold. Oprah, please hold. Oprah, please hold. How about this? This is not a numerical stat. Well, actually it is. Total number of cars given away over 25 seasons, 570. A good chunk of those were Pontiac G6s. As demonstrated with this You Get a Car transcript in full. I will link it below. I mean, I'm not going to recite this whole transcript. I can't do it as much as Oprah can. By the way, if you buy the 20th anniversary DVD box set, you get to see this moment in full. Number of times Oprah shouted, "You get a car that day?" 12. Number of crying audience members? Too many to count. Let's just put it like that. The numerical stats continue. Number of times Oprah has appeared on a show in AUSSIE? Only once. I'm not kidding. They're not kidding. Only once. Come on, focus. Hello, focus. Well, you get the idea. In '96, Oprah gave her entire studio audience and their families a trip to Disney World. Episodes broadcast from New York City, 10. Broadcast from Los Angeles, 26. And other locations from which the show has been broadcast? An historical reenactment colony in Maine, where it's always 1628. The sets of Baywatch, American Idol, Friends, Desperate Housewives, and Grey's Anatomy. Radio City Music Hall, which again goes back to the episodes broadcast from New York. The National Farmers Market, a polygamous ranch in Texas. An army post in Kentucky, a Louisiana plantation, a bridge in Madison County, Iowa. All told, the show has been filmed in 28 states and the District of Columbia, as well as in South Africa, France, Ethiopia, Poland, Denmark, Scotland, England, and of course, as you just saw, Australia. Back on the home front, there were custom sets created for the show for very special occasions, like to welcome the cast of Horton Hears a Who from Blue Sky Studios and Fox. A lingerie boutique for the Oprah's Bra and Jean Intervention episode, Santa's Workshop for the Ultimate Favorite Dates episode, and a set made entirely of Godiva chocolate for the That's Incredible episode. Number of calories in one serving of the sour cream pound cake Paula Deen made on the show in 2007, 619. Dean's demonstration of this recipe led to one of the show's most memorable bloopers, as she and Oprah creamed 2 sticks of butter and 3 cups of sugar. Said Dean, "I'm your cook, not your doctor." A glass ramekin accidentally fell into the stand mixer, sending shards flying on stage. Seconds of airtime during which the unharmed audience laughed about the mishap, 68. How about this? Number of times Oprah has cried on camera, 79. Now take a look at the moments that made Oprah break down. A surprise 40th birthday party in '94. Nobody Knows I'm Homeless, a show in '96. Hearing Toni Morrison read from Sula, 2002. In 2005, visiting Mayor Ray Natson in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, and then sitting down with children of divorce in 2007, and in 2009, talking with prison inmates about how pet dogs have changed their lives, and then listening to Dolly Parton sing "I Will Always Love You" after Dolly dedicated a song to Oprah back in 2010. After joining Oprah in her vegan experiment, Harpo president and Oprah Winfrey Show executive producer Sherry Salata blog, I now know for sure that water with a little lemon is quite nice. 3 more things that Sherry knows for sure. Never forget what it's like to be at the bottom. The best cure for exhaustion is laughter, and words of wisdom we could all use, especially during this time. All will be well. Those are the stats of the Oprah Show. And again, if you have not picked up this copy, you absolutely should. Now, a stylish salute to the principal producers, ready for their close-ups. As producers of the Oprah Show, they've worked behind the scenes for years. Now, with knockout clothes and kicked up hair and makeup, it's their time to step into the spotlight. So we have Andrea Wissam, senior supervising producer. And you'll get more info about their fashion later on in this feature. Also, ready for their close-ups, Tara Denise, production designer and lighting director for the show. Calling up the studio has been so much fun for me, Denise says. I get jazzed about making things beautiful, including yourself. Jill Van Lockman, senior supervising producer. Inside the control room for the Oprah Show, looking stylish as ever. Jackie Taylor Richardson, Senior Associate Producer in charge of booking. Shai Lou Loveman, Senior Audience Producer. I love putting an outfit together. It's like setting a gorgeous table while seating a great audience. We also have Sydney Morey, Director, Booking and Talent Relations, standing next to one of the Hopple Studios cameras. And then we have Candy Carter, Senior Producer. This feature closes with a How We Did It feature. 7 women who dress with one goal in mind, get the job done. So what you see here on the top is their usual expressions of fashion. All 7 staffers photographed for this feature, and their dolled up styles for this special feature, along with details on how they put together their wardrobes for this photo shoot. From Adam Glassman, creative director of the magazine, Ken Paves, hairstylist and frequent makeover magician on the Oprah show, and Genia Robinette, a Los Angeles-based makeup artist. So you get to learn more about how these 3 individuals made over these 7 extraordinary staffers for this special shoot. One last feature I want to preview in this excruciatingly long video is what I know for sure. Oprah was originally considering ending her show after 20 years, but it was this remarkable boy, Matty Stepanek, the late Matty Stepanek, who suggested to Oprah successfully that she take her final bow after 25 years. A good, solid, round number. This is a letter that Matty wrote to Oprah on that suggestion. And of course, she took that suggestion with grace and gratitude, which is how she ended her show. Wherever heaven is, I know Matty is there, smiling among all the bright colors. I'm truly ready for the next chapter. I move forward with no regrets, only grace and gratitude. I can't think of a better way to end this review and to end this magazine. Yes, the top right corner of the cover is bent a little bit, but otherwise, it's in solid condition. And all in all, this is a jam-packed issue. I mean, this was an excruciatingly long magazine review. The longest magazine review I've ever done for a standard issue magazine. By the way, this is also the first Oprah magazine review I ever did. And I wholeheartedly welcome it to the channel, to the library, by giving it 5 out of 5 claps. Again, check out the link in the description below for the Deborah Davis book, The Oprah Winfrey Show, Reflections on an American Legacy, by clicking the link in the description below, or should I say, to borrow a quote from her Simpsons counterpart Opal, An American Legacy. No matter what you and I think of Oprah, one thing's quite certain. She's built a legacy worth preserving and honoring, not just during Women's History Month, but every month of every year. I now want to hear from you. If you were a talk show host and you had a live studio audience and you had to contend with this coronavirus chaos, what would you do? Would you soldier on without a live studio audience? Would you take your tapings to your home? Or would you postpone them entirely? Let me know in the comments below. I must say thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you sat through the whole thing, and if you're an Oprah buff or not. And now that I think of it, it would also be a good time to read you a 20th anniversary DVD box set. No matter what, I'll catch you on the flip side.